I call the Township of Aleppo Commissioners meeting of December 20th, 2021 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
President Jones,
Present.
Vice President Williams,
Present.
Commissioner Dara,
Present.
Commissioner Richard, Present, and Manager Patterson. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Haluka, Present, Manager Patterson. Here.
Thank you, Gwen. Oops. Gwen had me.
This meeting, as with all meetings, is recorded, uploaded to YouTube, and can be watched anytime, anyplace, anywhere. Do I hear a motion to approve the December 13th workshop meeting minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do I hear a motion to adopt the ordinance fixing and reenacting the real estate tax rate for the year 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Good evening. I have a quick question. It says on the door that we're meeting in an executive
We can
session
take that down, we're not. It's
Okay.
just a sign on the door.
because you don't want to adopt your budget during an executive.
Correct, no, that's just, it's just.
Just don't scare me
always
first
there.
thing.
Thank you, Solicitor Stone.
I'm 1 minute late. What
1 minute, we blew the whole thing.
Wow. Okay, excuse me, but just one
Sit
minute.
down, let your heart calm.
Harlan has hives, look.
Any discussion relative to the motion regarding the real estate tax rate?
I could just say that there's no, it will not, the Aleppo Township real estate tax rate will not be raised for 2022. It's going to stay at 3.5 mils for this year.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do I hear a motion to adopt an ordinance adopting a budget for the fiscal year?
I motion to adopt the ordinance adopting a budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2022 and ending on December 31st, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Sergeant Adam. Welcome.
For the month of November, there were 60 calls, 41 were medical emergencies, 8 between traffic warnings or citations, a few welfare checks, and a couple of warrants. Other than that, all was good.
As always, is there anything we can do for you?
Nope, we're doing well right now. Thank you for asking. Everything so far is moving along for us.
Have a nice holiday.
Thank you.
Stay
Thank you.
safe, Adam.
Yep, stay safe.
Emergency management?
Status quo. Masonics holding, Aleppo's holding. Fingers crossed, doing well.
Public Works?
Tim Scott, Public Works Department. Pretty much all the same. If you've read your thing, a lot of dead animals for some reason in the last month. It's been, I don't understand it, but raccoons and possums just want to run out in front of cars for some reason. Salt spreaders are all fixed up again. We had to replace the wood on one of them. I had to repair some lighting around the township building. And that's about it.
Any questions, commissioners, to Public Works?
No, sir.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
Do I hear a motion to purchase the John Deere?
So moved.
Second.
And I'll just, this is the motion that was actually adopted at the workshop meeting, but there was a confusion about the particulars of the mower deck, and so this is $300.20 increase from the motion from last week.
So we should read the whole motion into the record.
Sure. We motion to purchase the John Deere X739 signature tractor and 54-inch shaft drive high-capacity mower deck for $11,175.04 from the M&R Power Equipment Group.
I seconded it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Communications?
So I want to first just review, Gwen and I checked into our email policy. There was discussion about it from last week's meeting. We believe the email policy, and Gwen, correct me if I'm wrong, we're searching it out, I believe, is that emails to be read in the meeting should be addressed to Gwen. We will now read them as per our practice. During the meeting, I will read them, except if it contains legal or personnel matters or some sort of private sensitive information that we would need to.
I need to go back into our, minutes and records and see when the decision was made and what the decision was made to read emails, whether it was a formal policy or whether it was just a practice that we followed. And if it was a formal policy, I'll find that. And if it's just a practice, the practice would be like just what Amy said, address an email to me to be read. It would be good if it was requested to be read in the meeting. That would be helpful, so I would know that this is something that somebody wanted to make public versus they just wanted me to
An awareness.
answer.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of emails and I just tend to just answer them. But if there's something that people want to have read in the meeting, it would be helpful
That's a
if
good point.
I knew that, but I'm happy to do it, and then, again, the legal and personnel exception.
Yeah, I think in the past, we have received emails that people did not want
Yes,
read.
oh, definitely we have, yeah, so.
So I think it's important to request it to be read.
Well, we do have one email that we will read tonight as per our practice. I'll leave the name off of it for now, since we don't know if they wanted it read or not. actually,
I
at this point.
responded and said that we would read it at the
Okay.
meeting, and I didn't get
Okay.
a response from that.
Well, then
So-
I'll just leave it as is. Just says, hi Gwen, I hope all has been well with you. I watched the December 13th, 2021 Township Supervisors Workshop meeting on YouTube this week. I wanted to comment on the remarks made by Mr. and Mrs. Black regarding the park on Ingleside Road. I'm assuming that this is the area located adjoining to my property at 510 Weber. I gathered from the Blacks' remarks that they think a more developed park would be a good idea for the children of the community, or they mentioned 4 children specifically. However, we neighbors would have to live next to it may have a different opinion regarding the type of usage for the park in this area. I enjoy what is there now without the addition of anything else encouraging more traffic and or visitation to the park. I feel me and my neighbors whose properties adjoin the park would lose some of our privacy and maybe have to endure noise from visitors. I am requesting that should there be any further movement and or discussion on the park development, we neighbors whose properties adjoin that property be included in discussion, since we will be the ones directly affected. I would be happy to coordinate with my neighbors to be part of any committee that may be formed. Thank you. Have a great holiday.
And I did reply to the resident and say that, yes, before we would take any formal action on the park, we would speak to and convene a meeting or somehow communicate with the residents surrounding the park so that they were aware of what we were proposing.
Could you update us on the status of the planning for the park?
Sure. Right before, I don't know, 2 years ago now, we had a park committee, and surveys were sent out by Mr. Black as a resident committee chairman, which was very helpful. And surveys were sent out to the neighborhood asking them what they would like to see, whether they would like to see a children's area, whether they'd see nothing, whether they would like to see just benches and a gathering place. And we got a lot of responses, and we got some enthusiastic responses from the residents that replied. So we convened a meeting, like a brainstorming meeting, and we had a couple people show up to that. So we went to HRG, our engineers, and asked them for a couple preliminary sketches for a first phase, meaning just perhaps some benches, maybe some lighting, we weren't even sure about lighting, and some pathways and things like that, just starting small to see if we would get anybody to come to the park and have it just be a neighborhood gathering space. The thought guiding all of this was always that it would be for the residents of that neighborhood. It was not intended to be a destination park. It's the size of one yard lot. So it is not a large, expansive with ball fields or anything like that. It's the size of a big, about an acre-ish.
About an acre and a half.
Acre and a half, okay. So we got those designs from HRG. We got 3 options, just 3 different layouts, still just fenced, right when COVID was just, starting. And so we just tabled it for a while, because it was not something that we were gonna be convening meetings or having any of that kind of input. So I have the files, I have the designs, and we just kind of tabled it, and I was thinking that hopefully this year we would be able to start back up with it, and it did put some money in the budget for basic beginning park development for this year. But I don't have, a committee action or anything like that right now.
And I think the commissioner that was mostly involved is no longer with us.
I would step up to do that.
Okay.
I would step up to do that, Drew.
Okay, good. Anything else? Communications?
No, that's all. Yeah.
Okay. Planning and zoning,
No report.
tax collector treasurer.
Good evening, everybody. You should have in your packet November's report, the tax collection for the month of November. You have total tax collection of $31,282.78. As you can see, we're pretty well over budget. Did quite well for the year with another month to go yet. So that kind of plays into everything. Pages 3 and 4 are all of the graphs comparing November of 2021 to November of 2020, where we sat, where we are with the numbers compared to the budget, not only for 2021, but also for 2020, and then just kind of comparing the 2 years, year-to-date numbers as well. As far as the ending account balances for November 2021, in the PNC checking account, we have $542,921.88. Then all of our investment accounts, which are invested with Pliget. The state fund, which is the liquid fuels, is $66,585.65. The general investment is $964,516.14. The reserve fund is $112,709.29. The capital improvement fund is at $899,830.78. So right now, total monies on hand is $2,586,563.74. However, you have to subtract out various pledged accounts and targeted funds. And so our net operating funds is $1,507,438.20. Then I also gave you the two accounts for the sewer. The sewer bond account is at $340,210.86, and then the new stormwater account that was created in October at $147,345.26.
Any questions for our treasurer?
You have a highlight on page 202.
Yep.
At base. Why is it highlighted?
When I did it, that was because we created the stormwater account in October of 2021, and we wanted to make sure that you were aware of why that is a new account.
Okay.
So,
I am now, thanks.
yep.
Any other questions for the treasurer?
Thank you, Clayton.
You're very welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Finance. Do I hear a motion as printed?
Move to approve the November bill list in the amount of $20,473.39. To ratify November prepaid bills in the amount of $13,117. And to ratify November payroll transfers in the amount of $15,474.69.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to
Regarding-
adopt a resolution adopting a policy for making an annual discretionary donation to the Aleppo Township Authority to be used on sewer-related projects.
Second.
Any discussion? Gwen, could you just briefly explain what this is?
So, when the sewer bond was refinanced in 2020, there is going to be an annual savings. That's why you refinance, is to save a little bit of money. And the board discussed it, the sewer committee, and then the board discussed what to do with that annual savings, and it was decided that a portion of it would be given annually potentially, but intended to be given annually to the Aleppo Township Authority to help offset certain sewer rate increases and to help fund some of the sewer projects. Because it is sewer money revenue, bond revenue, it can be used only for sewer projects. So it would not go into the regular township general fund. It's segregated in our finances and it will be given to them. This resolution lays out the policy of the intent to do that every year, but it does not lock this board or any future boards into making that contribution if something with our bond situation would change. So it protects the township's bond account and situation, but it intends to make an annual contribution. This year's contribution is $40,000.
The history is that we funded the sewer project in 2011. We've taken advantage of interest rates 2 times and refinanced. Basically, the use for this extra money is twofold. It can either be used to offset surprise expenses or to reduce rate increases, or it can be saved up for perhaps another refinancing in 4 years. We made a decision with interest rates rising a little bit that some of the money should be spent for current as opposed to putting it all aside, but there's still being money put aside in case we refinance in 4 years. Any other discussion? Did we vote?
All in favor?
No, we did
All in
not.
Second?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
I would
Quaker Valley.
I would report that the sewer expansion study that was done by the engineers for the authority has now been presented to the Swickley Hills and Glenfield government folks. And also, there's ongoing discussions between the authority and Swickley Heights Manor with regard to the private water line down Swickley Heights Drive. And those discussions are ongoing.
Any further questions for Dan or about the authority? Okay, Quaker Valley Ambulance Authority.
Do you want me to read that again?
You can hit the highlights if you'd like.
COVID's still keeping call volume flat for Quaker Valley. They did their annual fund drive. So far, they're looking at $28,000 in, which is also kind of flat. Overall, the financial impact to Valley and Quaker Valley is estimated to be about $100,000 for the purchase of new radios, which is going to be required in order to hit the repeaters, etc. They just purchased 2 new monitors. They're kind of expensive. They've purchased 2 out of 7 with grant money, so that was a gift from above. And the audit was conducted, completed, and no deficiencies were found. So they're in decent shape.
Always good to know. Quaker Valley COG.
There's a insert in your report which really simplifies my task, so I send my regards to the new exec. Most of the things you've heard before, but the 65 study is sort of kicking into gear again after a long sabbatical, and they have been fairly well funded up until now. But they are going to have in January, mid-January of '22, members of the traffic, Carnegie Mellon and Michael Baco International will present a final report for the Route 65 study. It's anticipated that the presentation will include a comprehensive summary of the report as well as recommendations moving forward. I'd also like to comment on the fact that the modus operandi for the Quaker Valley, for the COG meetings, as I have mentioned before, have become very operationally oriented rather than a report on the balance sheet. And that is sort of beginning to draw people in the COG to become more active. And this program for the Route 65 is certainly causing a lot of people to think about what's going to happen and how is it going to happen. But I think that it's vital that it does occur. And I look forward to continuing to encourage Patrick and the board to move forward.
Can I
Any
add
questions?
something? I went to the COG managers meeting recently, and the thought of having a permanent location for a glass recycling bin is very prominent in their plans. So they were asking if we would be willing to host a glass recycling bin again, potentially for long term. So we're gonna talk about that in January. I told them we would get back to that in January. We would come to you, I have to talk to Tim first, and see if there's a possibility of us hosting that, either for like an extended time period rather than 1 week, or on a rotating basis or things like that. But they are really working to try to find at least one site for a permanent dumpster for glass within the COG area.
I think residents would be very happy to hear that.
Yeah, we've had multiple inquiries about this.
Any further discussion relative to the COG? Mr. Solicitor,
No report?
unfinished business. New business. Christmas tree recycling will be on January 3rd, 2022. I think flyers went out to every resident.
The red postcard that we send out every year.
All set, Tim?
We're ready. Chip is already reserved.
Aleppo Township Fire Company Blood Drive, December 21st.
Tomorrow from 2 to 7, the fire company is hosting a blood drive, and I just sent out the digest for last week's meeting today, and so in that digest it has a phone number and a link that you can register for that, but it's 2 to 7 tomorrow at 131 Weber Road at the fire station.
Judy, do you have any further comment?
I do not.
Holiday office closures, when?
So the offices will be closed this Thursday and Friday, the 23rd and 24th. And then next week will be closed the 30th and the 31st, which is also Thursday and Friday.
Nice.
Thank you. And Gwen, remind us.
Combined reorganization workshop meeting will be January 3rd, 2022. So please make sure that you have that on your calendars. We are meeting on the first Monday in January, the 3rd, 7 p.m. We will not be meeting the normal workshop meeting, which is the 10th. We will not have that meeting, and then we will have the regular legislative meeting on the 17th. So we will not have 3 meetings in a row. Our workshop is a week early, and our legislative is still on schedule.
And Magistrate Ford's all set.
He will be here at 7:15 on the 3rd to swear in the newly re-elected.
And everybody that should be in attendance knows to be in attendance.
All of you,
We're here.
Clayton.
Does Sally
Got it,
simply have to be
Clayton?
here?
She does not,
Okay.
has an appointment.
That reminds me, so do we have any newly elected board members?
No.
Okay.
Everyone's already serving.
Okay.
Just this comes.
You might still need an affidavit of residency.
Okay, is that something that we provide for them?
We can, yes.
Okay. I know we've done that sometime in the past, and I don't remember exactly.
What I have to look at, I have to check it out, and sometime, it's either it applies to newly elected officials or those who are getting a new term, even though they're existing board members. So that's what I need to find out, but I'll let you know.
If it's a form, we'll figure it out and have it, get it for you guys so
I'm
that
sure
you would
you
get
will.
it filled out in advance of the 3rd.
Okay.
Thank you. Harlan, should those that were elected by ballot have received anything from the Elections Bureau?
Yeah, I think you usually get a certificate,
Yeah.
and then you can bring your certificate to the swearing-in ceremony when the magistrate's here. And I think he may want to see that. But yeah, you should get a certificate.
Has anyone other than write-in Commissioner Haluka received that?
I have not.
No?
Mine isn't a certificate, it was I had to sign a thing requesting that they count those write-in ballots, that they were in fact mine, and then accepting them, because I got them for both of those things.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it, it's not a certificate, it's just you got this many write-ins for this office, you got this many write-ins for this office, do you accept those votes, and are you gonna take the offices?
I'll check that out. I think you should, I think there's supposed to be a certificate that you get, and then you present that at the reorganization meeting.
I don't think anybody got it, actually.
They might just be slow.
Yeah, I mean, but I will confirm that.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion regarding the reorganization meeting? Citizen participation. Anyone choose to participate? Well, welcome anyways. Executive session, is it necessary, Harlan?
No, not that I'm aware of. Not for me.
Then I wish everybody a happy holiday, and the meeting is adjourned.